Welcome to another edition of the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. My name is Hannibal. That guy over there is Pedro. And we're here on another lovely Wednesday evening. How are you doing, Pedro?
I'm doing great.
You need a sexy voice. All right.
Every time you ask me that, that's how I'm going to do my
You
intro.
should
Just
just
like
do
that.
a radio show,
Just
right?
like
Just
that.
get, yeah, just
We
go
have
in there.
this is our radio. This is our podcast, bro.
Actually,
What we doing?
that makes sense. Actually, yeah, we have a full show lined up. And I guess the title has all of the topics. So is I don't know. Hopefully, we'll able to fit everything in there because I know once we get into one topic, it may just like drag out. I'm gonna try to be as not rigid, but we can kind of go kind of crazy in terms of
Yeah,
getting in depth in the conversation.
yeah.
We're gonna try to be good and try to get all the topics covered.
Shout out to Middleton Technologies.
Oh yeah, shout out. He made sure that why no one starts on time. You gotta get everything else set up. You gotta make sure everything, all the bells and whistles are clean. If that makes any damn sense. I don't know. But as we always start the episode, we always ask each other what we've been listening to this week.
Yes.
Hey Joe, what have you been listening to?
Oh man, not a lot. Only because I think you told me something. You told me to listen to something, and I failed on that. But I've been doing like Uber. I do a little Uber ride share here on the side, and like when you do that, you got to kind of listen to like just a radio station. You can't really like listen to like what I want to listen to because you might offend somebody. So like I've been listening to like radio station and or just having great conversations with people in the car. So
Yeah.
I haven't been listening to anything this week. So
Question about that.
Mhm.
In terms of music that you choose to play in the car,
Mhm.
do you ask the customer what you like to
Ooh.
listen to, or you just like you said go to like the really not saying bland music, but something
Yeah.
that's not offensive? Like what's your strategy
I
when they
typically
get
I don't ask. The only question I ask is is if it's too hot or too cold, let me know.
there?
But I don't ask what people want to listen to unless like we're talking about music, and then I might offer is it the particular album you're into or something. But like that's not because typically you're either talking or they're talking on the phone, or I just have like regular music on and it's on kind of low.
Yeah.
And I don't like make the ride about music unless they want it to be, and that works for me. So
My favorite Uber rides was always usually at the end of the night, and the driver puts on that good stuff. You know what I mean? The stuff that
Mhm.
bumps, and he'll be like, "Yo, Muhammad, you killing it right now." I'll be like, "Oh, good." And I know that it's a balance in that because you don't want to get a low rating off of music. Like
sure,
they play that Will Smith music, and I did not appreciate that. 1-0.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you don't want to do that. So
yeah.
so I've been listening to a little bit now. We got a good comment already from Pedro. Sounds like Pedro's been listening to Barry White.
No, not very wide. No.
You put on White. If you put that
No.
on, why would anyone give you a low rating? I mean,
And you know what though? I do sometimes. I would say 9 times out of 10, I can probably tell based on like the first how the passenger looks, their age, their mannerisms with me, their introduction, probably what type of music they might like. And
yeah,
I have about 4 stations I toggle through. But yeah, not very wide. No.
no, maybe we just mixed up in the mix. For me, I had that really long ride from St. Louis. It's your fault. So I was
You're
listening to
welcome.
Big. I was still listening to Big Crit. I think you should definitely. I know you didn't get a chance to check it out because I know you've been really
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
Check out his music. He has so much variety. He's a little bit singing, a little bit. He's rapping. The guy is extremely versatile. So I couldn't believe how many songs he had. Multiple albums, multiple songs with everybody. Anyone that's in the rap game, he actually worked with T.I., Ludacris, Lil Wayne. He's been on everything.
He's down south, right? He's from
Down,
south
yeah,
somewhere.
Mississippi.
He's Mississippi. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, just you definitely want to check him out. What I've been listening to is I don't know if are you familiar with Benny the Butcher?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I've been listening to a lot of that and the entire group that he's in called let's call it Grissiaga or something like that.
Yeah,
It's-
something like that.
It's Benny the Butcher, it's Conway the Machine, and it's West Gun. Was it West Side Gun? Yeah. These names still escape me.
I don't know how they come up with these. Like, yeah.
Okay, so it's like a super group, right? Because they basically all have individual artists. They're pretty good. Grizzly Alley, they're pretty good. I'm all right. I'm gonna give you a comparison. Do not put me like, don't necessarily say they're saying they're like the person or they're very similar to this
Oh,
group.
this is gonna be good. Okay.
They have very similar vibes as Mobb Deep and Wu Tang Clan. And I know that's lofty kind of comparisons, but they both
Very lofty. But I hear what you're saying.
yeah, they're from the West Coast. No, sorry, East Coast, Buffalo, New York. All they talk
They're a
about,
little grimy. They're grimy.
yeah,
Like Mobb Deep. They're grimy. So I get that
selection.
part.
Yeah, the beat selection is very Wu Tang like. They kind of like that soulfulness, but then there's no pop kind of beats. No flutes. There's no flute playing.
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's grimy. Yeah.
yeah. And my favorite artist is West Side Gun because of his ad libs. You gotta listen to it. The guy has like 3-4 ad libs, and he puts it through every track he puts on. I think the ad libs actually carry the song sometimes.
So he's like Amigos.
A little bit. His voice is a little high. It's high compared to the rest of the members.
Yeah,
I think him and Conway actually are brothers, and it sounds cartoonish. It sounds like he's actually being like he's parodying what a gangster rapper sounds like. But then when you see how you see him, the guy's tattooed up, ridiculous, the most ridiculous kind of jury you could look at.
It's gaudy. Like, it doesn't even look good in my opinion. That kind of jewelry to me is like it's cosmetic. It's just, it's stunting. It's not even like I could never or would never wear something like that. Even if I was a rap star, I wouldn't. It just looks like a clownish to me. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
I think he knows it's ridiculous. Sure, he's like, why am I saw a video of him and Tyler the Creator. He picked up one of his like bracelets, and the bracelets just how he unbuckled it and like handed to Tyler, it looked like it was 15 pounds. So it's not even like there's no rationality to why he's doing this. And then Tyler's like, yo, this is just like why even? He kept saying, why even bother having this? Even he said that. He was like, yeah, but it's just the rapper lifestyle, and they came from nothing, so they want to flaunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's I've been listening to a lot, and they have a lot of songs. I think if you had to compare them, I mean, I don't know if you would say G Unit, but Mobb Deep, Wu Tang. So I'll definitely, if you're into that, where yes, they're going to talk about a lot of guns, drugs,
they're going to talk
and beating people up.
Yeah.
But they're from Buffalo, New York. They probably did that because it's cold up there and it's grimy up there. You know what I mean? So I would definitely recommend that. But you still need to check out Big Crit. I think you.
I have it. I got it in my list. I just haven't done it yet. So
okay. That's your homework.
F for Pedro this week.
Yeah, get it together. All right. Before we get into the main topics, I think I asked you, I was going to talk about this a week ago, probably. I think like Wednesday. Yeah, so I saw the movie on Wednesday. I think Thursday or Friday. I was like, I got to talk about this real quick. I don't know if you guys seen the movie Nope, directed by Jordan Peele.
Nope.
This is going to be a little review, but no spoiler. I'm not going to spoil it at all. Directed by Jordan Peele. He did the movies Nope, Get Out, I think Them, a big deal now in Hollywood. Like Jordan Peele is like one of the big shot directors. He's writing, he's directing, really, really big deal. So the movie they had I think starred, I can't pronounce his last name, Daniel Kaluuya. I think
he's like he's British or something. He's not from America.
No.
He's a guy he was in not Star Wars.
He was in Get Out. He was in
Get Out.
Queen and Slim. He's been in a few movies. He actually was in the Black Panther movie.
Yes, he's a good actor. I like him.
I like his face. I like he has a very his face expressive. He always looks like he's upset or nervous or shocked. Like he could do his face it works well in the acting. I think he's a good actor. I have no problem with him.
I think he is too.
Keke Palmer, which I'm a big fan of her. Big fan of her.
I'm not. I don't know what. I know she did some good stuff when she was younger. I feel like when she's gotten older, I don't know what she's done that's been really good. But maybe I don't know.
I wasn't even talking about her career, but yeah.
Okay, you like how she looks. Got it. Facts. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. Yeah. So they, if I can get like a brief idea of what the movie is about, it's two siblings. They run a horse ranch in California. They discover something, right? Something in the sky. And then there's some other things that's going on. And then at the end, they're trying to do something. Again, I don't want to spoil it. The problem is when you look at the critics, movie critics, they're giving this movie high marks. Like, this is a great movie. Jordan Peele did it again. And I watched the movie, and it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like,
Oh,
science
worst
fiction,
worst you've ever seen.
It
Wow.
was so bad, so bad.
That's a bold statement.
I'm a bold person.
So what made it bad for you? Without giving spoiler, what was it? Were your expectations so high going in that's why you left feeling bad, or was it just actually bad? You know what I'm saying?
I had high expectations because it did have some decent reviews before I went there. So I did have, and also I did enjoy Get Out. I liked the movie, how it was a lot of action, a lot, it was scary, like it was kind of a lot going on. But this movie was a total opposite of that. So I was just say I think you can, I'm not spoiling it. It's a monster movie. It's a monster movie, right? The problem is it takes too long for things to develop. It takes way too long. Way too long. You're watching like, all right, is something going to happen? The dialogue wasn't entertaining enough to keep this going. There was some tension, but it was very forced. And also, I didn't get it. Like, and maybe I'm an idiot. I know Jordan Peele at this point makes movies where you gotta sit there and think. You gotta watch it another time to get it. I'm sorry. If you have a great movie, you don't need to watch it 3-4 times to get it. I should be able to get it once. Get Out, I got it once. Like, I watched it.
And you could watch something a second or third time, and you could understand it even more and pick up on subtle things, right? Subtle way the cinematography is done, or a line that's written, or But yeah, you shouldn't have to watch it more than once to feel like if you like it or not. I don't think, but
yeah, it was. And then I had to literally read about what he was trying to accomplish, the theme, after the movie. Because watching it, we went to a bar, I'm like, I don't get this movie, and then we read it again. You guys could check that out. If he was trying to do that was way too much to do. You should just make a really good monster movie. And you actually used this before we talked. The director that's compared to him, M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes, that guy.
He's doing another M. Night Shyamalan, where he came out with a banger movie in the beginning, and then slowly becomes to a point where he makes the next movie comes out. You're like, this was trash. What happened? Is he feeling himself too much? Does he think whatever he can just pull out, people going to enjoy? Are people not telling him the truth? I will tell you right now, these critics I've seen on Rotten Tomatoes, they're not telling him the truth. They're making it seem like he's a brilliant guy. I'm sorry, I watched that movie. It wasn't brilliant. It was, if he was trying too hard. Make a good movie. You don't necessarily need to have like this super important theme about Black cinema, because that's the theme of the movie. I couldn't tell you if it was.
I'm gonna have to read. I'm gonna watch it only because you saying it's so bad. I was gonna watch it at some point when you can stream it or something. What up, Hector? Shout out. But I wasn't like, now I want to see just how bad it is. You know what I'm saying?
You may actually enjoy it. So I'm on Facebook, and there's some people that say they liked it. And I don't know if they're just saying that so they could be smart. Like, you just didn't get it, dummy. And I'm like, maybe no, I've watched it. I paid attention. I was inebriated when I started watching it. I sobered up trying to understand the movie. I was like, wait, what? What's going on? Like, my brain was working extra fast.
Hold up, bingo, guys. Hold up. I just found out why Hannibal didn't like it. He was drunk walking into the movie, and he couldn't continue, and he had to stop drinking, and that pissed him off. That's why.
I was in a drive-through theater, which I've never been, and I don't know how long.
We got one of them here in Illinois, about 30 minutes from St. Louis. They're pretty dope, man. It's a cool little time,
If I had the ability to walk out, because I couldn't drive out, because you have kind of to wait till everyone's finished to drive out. I could have contemplated leaving.
Wow.
That's how bad.
I gotta watch this movie.
Please don't pay it. Don't pay it.
I think I'm gonna take the girl this weekend. And then I'm gonna call you immediately after.
It's a 2-hour movie, bro.
I'll tell you what I think. What?
It's 2 hours.
A monster movie should not be over. A monster movie is like an hour and a half, hour 45 tops. You don't need a movie like that.
Running time, 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's doing too much.
The first hour, nothing happens. So
he's doing too much. He's getting too cute, as they say.
But you know what? It would be nice if he did. I hope. I feel like I remember giving you another advice to do something, and you did it, and it was a terrible experience. Hopefully, this is a better experience. Well, you may come in and say, "Hey, you know what? I watched Nope. I get it. I think it was enjoyable. And we can have a back and forth on it.
Yeah,
So.
we should do that. All right. Now
Hey,
that we
look,
know that Hannibal didn't like Nope.
hold on.
Yeah.
Our boy
What's that?
Nova Dasher, he said that's legit
Wow.
the worst movie. Thank you, Nova. Thank you.
What? I'm seeing it for sure this weekend now. I'm 100% going to go see it Saturday afternoon.
All
I
right.
have to.
Well, okay. So that's a good tease for the next
Love it.
episode because I will love your perspective.
Okay.
We do have a lot in common, but we do have some differences. You may actually come across it at a different perspective. So I will be really interested to know if I need to, continue this friendship or not. Depends on what you say about this movie.
So the podcast might not resume, guys. So you can blame that on Hannibal. Thanks. Thanks for that. I got this mic for nothing. Thanks.
But and speaking about movies, let's transition to probably one of the greatest actors of our generation. I know he's not necessarily your favorite rapper,
no, but he's one of my favorite actors.
Favorite actor, yes. And I love of all of the songs he did. He made a lot of money, especially with like early, obviously 2000s, early in that. When he was linking movies with his songs from Men in Black to Wild Wild West, like the guy was some hits. It was pop rap, but it was some hits. My favorite rap song he ever made was "Summertime."
Oh, absolutely, that's my favorite. That's his best song.
That's his best song. I mean, the vibe, like you could put that on driving. Perfect song. It didn't have the most complex lyrics, but it hit the mood.
It's great. It's a great song.
That's my favorite song. So we're talking about Will Smith.
Yeah. Did you catch that? Did you?
Yeah.
Get my wife's name out your mouth.
So we all know what happened. Will Smith slapped the bejesus out of Chris Rock because Chris Rock made a G.I. Jane joke because Jada Pinkett Smith was bald, but apparently it's from a condition.
Alopecia or something.
Alopecia.
Like
was a legit condition that his hair loss. I think I forgot a basketball player that used to have it. You know it.
LeBron James. That was good. That you got that one.
That was kind of funny. It was unexpected. He was a decent player, like good role player.
I don't know.
Totally forgot. But and I'm Chris Rock probably didn't know that, obviously. And instead of just laughing off a corny joke, he gets up on the stage, slaps the mess out of him, comes back, starts screaming, losing his mind.
Because the joke wasn't even good. First off, it
was like a 3. Chris,
way out. It's outdated. G.I. Jane's like nobody. Who cares, right? And it's not current, and it wasn't even that funny. But yeah, he got slapped for sure.
He got slapped. So ever since then, Will Smith's kind of image has gone down tremendously. I think most people believe that what he did was so off and terrible and embarrassed himself, embarrassed us. Like it's just like, what are we doing? Why are you behaving this way? Yeah, right. So
yeah, it
took I don't know how many months after, but he finally puts out an apology on YouTube. It's a 5-minute video. And I would say right off the bat, I will show you the picture of the like to dislike ratio. If I have the picture, let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So, YouTube take away dislikes. So the only way you can know dislikes is you download an extension on a Chrome browser.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you can still see. So I'm going to show you right now. If you could look all the way down, I should have.
Wow.
So
I've never seen a video with that before.
Yeah. So he literally the dislikes are ratioed from 107,000 likes to
3 million views.
3 million views, 218,000 downvotes.
That's crazy.
People did not really. It's funny. I think a lot of response videos, what I haven't seen, but I've seen some response videos, more views than that video of the original content of him talking.
Yeah. Wow. I saw some clips. Might have been a TikTok. Pretty sure it was a TikTok of him answering 2 separate questions. And my first initial reaction was, why are you doing this? Like, I understand why, kind of PR or whatever, but it's almost too late in my opinion. And it doesn't seem, it just doesn't seem 100% genuine. Like he really wanted to do. I don't know. It just seems a little forced.
Yeah.
And a little bit like late, and
Yeah, Bobby
I'm a
says he
big.
lost
I
respect
mean, I
for him.
love his acting. I mean, the man can cry, and make it. There's just so many epic
Yeah.
scenes from French Prince of Bel Air, the him and his dad scene, and then Uncle Phil walks in. I'm sure you know which scene I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
about.
If
It's
I
just
want to get emotional, I could put that scene
oh,
on.
absolutely. And then the pursuit of happiness, him and his son in the stair in the bathroom of like the subway, and he's like somebody's trying to get in. He's holding his kid. I mean, Bad Boys. His range is all over the place, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think he's been in this wild relationship, and he's been dogged publicly for so many years, and he finally just lost his shit on live TV or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's kind of sad, but like, I think Will Smith is a fragile, emotional guy from his growing up, and we all might have some of that. And that's what makes him such a great actor, I think, as
Yeah.
well, because he could pull to those emotions and then put them on screen for people, and it's great because it feels like he's not acting, which is what a real good actor does.
Yeah.
And it just seems so weird that he did that. And I think I'll say it now. He will have a comeback story because we've got to remember it's still Will Smith, and America's like comeback stories, and he didn't do something that's completely unforgivable. So I think his time will be back at some point.
I actually have a little bit of the two questions that were put on.
Yeah,
I,
that's why.
I doubt their channel is going to sit there and block or give strikes or whatever. So
Yeah.
there's the two questions. This one is going to be a minute and 12 seconds. We can respond and then we can move on to the second one. It's like 57 seconds. So let's check out the first question he answers.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment.
Okay, so my wife watched this. I sent it to her because it kind of popped out of nowhere, and I saw people responding to it.
Yeah, it did pop out of nowhere. Yeah,
she was like, "I don't believe it at all. He's just an actor. I don't believe one thing he said." And that's the problem when you're such a great actor compared to like Amber Heard, that's such a bad actor. So when she was trying to act at that trial, like when my dog stepped on a bee and she's trying to cry, I'm like, that is so bad. No wonder you lost the kid because you can't act. Like you're just
Amber Heard can't act, but she's hot.
She's hot.
She's an attractive woman. That's why she's an actress. She's attractive. I mean,
but there's hot women that can act, and she's not one of them.
Yeah.
So, but when Will Smith does that, it's like, damn, that kind of sounds like that's legit. Like that sounds like a man that's still trying to cycle his thoughts. He's emotional. He's upset. Damn, that's good. But then, like, I don't know. Well, you know what? What do you think? What do you think about that first question?
Man, he says fog. How do you not? I think it being a professional actor and you just want to. What's lost here is I saw the movie he won that Oscar for. He won Best Actor, right?
Yeah, for King Richard, which I didn't watch because I kind of already know it. Yeah,
I've watched the King Richard. He was good in the movie. It's a pretty good movie. I don't know who he was up against and if he really deserved it. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but like, it took away from the whole that we should be celebrating something, right? And I think if he would have got up on stage and apologized in that moment, I think he would have. It would not have been as big of a deal if he would have just apologized right in the moment, hit it head on, or even did something like Gary was saying, Military Technologies a minute ago, the next day or even that week. But I think waiting so long, it just seems like you're not really doing it genuinely. Like somebody's telling you to do it, right? When it's that far separated. I think when men make mistakes, it should be kind of immediate. You know what I'm saying? Or you stand your ground and say, I'm not apologizing. I did what I did. He said something about my wife and I slapped him. I think if he did one or the other, he'd be in a better position now. You know what I'm saying? Like if he just completely said, I smacked him because he said something, there's history there. I felt like wrong place, wrong time, whatever, but I did it. I think some people in the community be like, oh, all right, Will Smith, stand up for his woman. But because he's like skating on this, like he did it, he's macho for a moment, he didn't apologize. And then a month later, well, not a month, 2 or 3 months later, 4 months later, then he apologizes. It just seems not genuine.
Yeah. Gary says no one will remember Will won the Oscar.
Exactly.
Well, he slapped. Yeah, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bobby, he is sorry for the consequences of his impulsivity. Yeah, I mean, he lost his mind. And then good comment here, Hector. I never had a fog in my brain for 5 months. I think he had a written statement that he may have posted on some social media, but that's not what's the most important thing. I think, you know what? All right. So you mentioned, if we stand up and say, hey, I slapped him because he disrespected my wife. There's some women who agree that it was okay for him to do that. Now, I will tell you, this is just my opinion. If you are if you're already with the relationship with your woman, and it's too late, you're kind of screwed. If you're courting a woman and she says what Will Smith did was a good idea, red flag, is not going to end well for you.
You're not wrong.
If she thinks that it was okay to put hands on a person because of words exchange, she's gonna get you in jail.
It's a joke. And it's a joke.
It's a joke. And you may get beat up. She that particular person likes drama. They like conflict. They think that's how you display love and concern and passion for your mate is to be violent. Yeah. So that particular woman probably been through some stuff. If you're not prepared to deal with all that, get your check and get out.
It might be a fun. That woman might give you a nice summer romance, a nice night.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That ain't something. They definitely probably will. But that is not somebody you're gonna build something with. You ain't gonna marry that chick. You know what I'm saying? So
she's gonna come home, running home, saying, "This guy said something to me. You gotta go get him." Wait, what happened?
Yeah. And unfortunately, in the Black and Hispanic communities, that is very common.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I mean, right.
It's a pride thing. Like we sometimes feel we need to do things because our pride gets in the way, our ego. Somebody sass my woman. I got it. That and it really it's all BS.
This is maybe not the most related example. You guys may not know what happened here in New York a couple of weeks ago, where a man got stabbed to death by a bodega worker. The bodega worker was, and it all got caught on camera. He was serving a woman, and her EBT card declined. She was trying to buy something. She had any money on it. EBT is basically like a subsidy
for state aid. It's like state aid, food stamps. Yeah.
And she left and got her man to go in there to argue with this man. Then the guy goes toward behind the counter, pushes this guy's 50-something years old, pushes this guy to the side. They get in a tussle. Homeboy, the clerk takes a knife, stabs him, kills him. He was in jail. The DA of Manhattan was going to try to prosecute him. And it only took the point, even the mayor said he defended himself. It's all on camera. The guy, much taller, bigger, stronger than this guy. I forgot the guy, the store clerk's name. Never had any problems ever with their law, defending himself. He didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that guy died because some woman was saying, go get him. He didn't give me what I needed. Like,
it's crazy.
If he would have made a better decision, he'd be alive right now.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. But in Driven Dad, my wife wouldn't talk to me. My wife wouldn't want me to walk up and slap someone. It'll have to be a real situation of protecting my family to resort to violence.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's when you need to protect your family, when there's a threat. A silly 2 out of 10 joke.
Yeah.
By Chris Rock. It doesn't make any sense.
But I think we have to, before we move on, and I don't know if you got anything else on this, but I think it's interesting because I think even some people in the chat, you guys, talk amongst yourselves and if you know some of these things or not. But Jada Pinkett Smith has a talk show or podcast. I think it's called Red Table or something, right? And she's gone on that show, and some would say spilled the tea on her and Will's relationship. And there's been extramarital affairs, and she was hooked up with this much younger R&B singer, and she talked about how they've had sex, and this is while Will has been married to Jada. So like some people would say Will's been dragged a little bit in the Black community. Like they don't look at Will like they just don't. I've seen these things, right, and heard about them, and I think Will just snapped. Now I'm not giving Will Smith an excuse at all, but there's more history to the emotional state, I think, in my opinion, and some others, of Will Smith and why he did that. It wasn't like just a random thing. I think it looks like that to a lot of people, but I think there's a history of certain things there, and I think he was just like, he just had enough. And I also think the way Chris Rock handled that absolutely should be applauded.
I don't know if I could have done that. I probably wouldn't. I couldn't.
I mean, and then he takes it like a man,
yeah,
and then he smiles, makes a joke right after. It's like, come on, like that's why a percentage of people think it was staged, because nobody watches the Oscars anymore. Like legit, every year the ratings are down.
Yeah, I don't watch them either.
I used to tune in every once in a while, or at least check the recap. I don't care who wins anymore, and I think so that's why there's a small subset of people who think it was staged, because it was just too perfect.
Yeah. I think it was so crazy. It had to be real. You know what I mean? Like who would have thought? Okay, we really sagging in the ratings. All right, you slap that guy. Like it, masterful. Yeah. If it was, because I don't know how you even orchestrate that. Actually, there's one more. The second question he answers. There's only a minute of Jada, and I think we can kind of end it on at least what I think about Jada, and I guess with the issue with Will. But let's play it real quick.
There is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults. After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on.
This was sad, man. Even if he's acting. All right,
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I want you to have the last on this topic.
Mm-hmm.
So he's that's his YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
It just seems odd to me. He's just sitting there alone. Like it just looks weird. Like why not go on an actual podcast and talk to somebody? Like is somebody asking him these questions? Are they written? Why has he got that ugly ass hat on that has a W on it? Is that his brand?
That could be his brand.
Okay. It just looks weird. What do you think?
We'll move on after this. What he should have said was, even if he did the same setup, I'm leaving my wife. She's been emotionally abusive to me for many, many years, and I need to move on to just be by myself. That would have probably been it. I think she can't do that because I think she knows a lot about him that can probably hurt him professionally, personally. I don't think he can leave her. I think, and I don't want to get down into some of their belief systems, Scientology. One of the things about that,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's not. Well,
I didn't know Will Smith.
You know what? This is rumor. But
I didn't know
let's say, for instance, that they were into it. One of the things they do is divulge their innermost feelings and sins and all that kind of to someone that holds all that information. That's why it says that some celebrities kind of are stuck in it, where they can't necessarily venture out and say, I'm done with this, because then eventually like the information campaign comes out from that area, the church, of all the terrible things you may have done. And that's a cult tactic, is tell me all your darkest fears. So if you decide to leave out, say, well, I'm gonna tell you what you said. Yeah. And that keeps them there. Um, that woman is abusive to him. I mean, not physically,
Emotionally, she
emotionally,
is older.
psychologically.
She is older than him a little bit. She did date Tupac, so I feel like there's she's one for the streets. She's one for the
Oh yeah.
streets. Jed is about that life, I think, a little bit.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't. Nova Dasha says, "I'm telling you, someone held a gun to Will's head and forced him to mend it." It did look weird. You know what? Could
looked
have been more
weird.
natural. Like a vlog kind of thing. Hey, take your camera, walk around, kind of express yourself that way. It just seems like a
It
studio
just
setup.
yeah. Yes.
And I don't know. I obviously just did not. I don't think his reaction, the reaction that got, obviously you see is a ratio, many dislikes. A lot of people do not believe what
Yeah.
he was saying, and
I don't. Yeah.
I can't wait till Chris Rock's special about it. He is going to destroy.
Chris Rock is the one that's going to get, because Chris Rock's like, yeah, he's Chris Rock. Listen, bigger and blacker or whatever. It was like early 2000s or
Bring the
whatever.
Pain,
I mean, Chris
best.
Rock is,
Yeah.
he's one of those guys, right? But his career is on the downturn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you got,
it wasn't. Yeah, the last special was okay.
he's not doing David Chappelle. He's not doing Kevin Hart numbers. He's not doing. But now he could sell out Madison Square Garden next week if he needed to.
My prediction, his next special is going to be as great as Bring the Pain, Bigger and Blacker. I think it's going to hit that level because there's a lot of pressure on him. He even said it when he did the other special, especially Bring the Pain. He said he did 6 months straight of jokes and writing. He did not go out. He didn't talk to anyone. If he was just listening to like some comedy records, and he just wrote, like, that's how he's going to probably approach this, like a fighter, because he got slapped, right? Like, and some people are like, I would have fucked no.
Yeah.
He has to put that anger and frustration into comedy.
Yeah.
And usually comedy comes from tragic. I mean, my favorite stand-ups of Kevin Hart was Laugh at My Pain.
Yes.
Like the ability to make jokes about his father, his mom passing away, and the funeral, and how his father was basically a drug addict. Those are very painful situations, and for them to make it funny.
Yeah.
That's the real genius of comedy.
Yeah.
I think Chris Rock is going to do very, very well.
I think he will. And there's a lot of other things going around in this world. I think he's going to pull in, obviously, other stuff, and can't wait. I don't know if that'll be like a Netflix special. I don't know what kind of deal he's going to do. Money. But I mean, that's what I would do if I was him. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to some football now.
Football.
So Pedro and our teams are going to suck this year.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the Bears will win more than the Giants. We'll have to do a side bet on that. Ooh, we'll have to do a side bet. We have Justin Fields. Justin Fields I think has more upside than Daniel Jones.
Maybe.
But you guys have Barkley. We got
a good coach. He coached Josh Allen, so yeah, it's gonna be bad. I don't know if I would bet that they. You know what? Yeah, I'll take that bet. I think Giants will win more games than the Bears.
Okay.
Because I don't trust our divisions all over the place. Like what the Generals going to do? What's a terrible name for a team? What the Redskins going to do? What the
Cowboys? The Eagles are going to be better because they upgraded at the wide receiver position. Jalen Hurts is that guy, in my opinion. I really like him. And the Cowboys are going to be decent still. They're probably going to win a division, I would say.
Yeah, they will probably win.
So the Giants are at the bottom of that division. They are. They just are. So, if they win maybe 4 or 5 games, I think the Bears could win 6 games this year.
I'll take that bet.
Okay.
Maybe a dumb bet. I'll take that bet. You know what? It's New York faith. Come on, Daniel Jones. But that's not the purpose of
That's not the purpose of NFL. Yeah.
DeShaun Watson.
Ooh, man.
$230 million guaranteed contract. Man. This is it. By an independent judge. This is not, the commissioner did not accept this. He basically took himself out of it. He said, listen, this is an independent source. They're going to go by the bylines, and it's going to be a judge going to figure this out, so I don't have to deal with it because I don't want to deal with it. It's not my business, right? I forgot her name, but it was a female judge, and going by the bylines of the contract and the state of conduct, code of conduct, only 6 games, and everyone is mad. Everyone's upset. They think it should have been 10 games. I think a lot of people wanted a year. I didn't read all of the details of Deshaun Watson because it just sounded weird. From what I gathered, Deshaun Watson is a creep, and he seems like he gets off on harassing women and massage parlors. So basically, he DMs them, and then he does inappropriate, weird, creepy, weird stuff, and that seems like it seemed like a very unhealthy way of being around women, being around people, and something's a little wrong off with him. He's always denied that. Nope, I didn't do nothing wrong, even though he settled over 20 cases. And again, settling does not necessarily mean guilt.
It doesn't. He was not proven guilty.
Was not proven guilty.
He wasn't proven guilty.
But clearly, settling meaning there were some details that he does not want to come out. I mean, right? You can either spend your whole life defending yourself, and some people do, but it could be a detail that's not necessarily legal, but that person probably can tell how much of a creeping weirdo you are.
Yeah.
So we better off to actually settle. But what are your thoughts on it? And I think I did I put this picture up of some of the other suspensions. I may have forgotten.
Yeah, I saw.
But you saw, like, so for instance, we have one man suspended for an entire year for gambling.
He bet on his own team. Calvin Ridley bet $1,500, I think, which is like what? He's a millionaire, right? He spent it on his own team to win in a game he didn't play. But in sports, you can't bet. Like you cannot bet in sports. So like that's everybody knows it. The whole Pete Rose thing in baseball, the White Sox scandal back in 1900 whatever. Yeah. You just can't bet on. You can't bet. So
yeah, especially now where sports betting is all over the place. You can't. You
got to know somebody's going to get that hand of that ticket and your name's on it. Whatever. Yeah. Like to me, Calvin Ridley, and he's a good wide receiver, right? To me, that's just stupidity. Like, how do you do that? How do you not know that you can't do that? Like you got to be smarter than that. If you want to place a bet, have your cousin do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to be the one placing the bet. Like,
they check the phones. I mean, when you do the sports betting, especially or even in New York, they finally have it. If you're not connected properly to the internet, they ain't let you put anything there. Everything is tracked. It's a big deal. Yeah. So for him, that didn't make any sense. He's suspended for the whole season. Then they showed Josh Gordon, which the guy just loved the marijuana.
He likes the marijuana and the alcohol, but I think now it's the marijuana. Yeah.
So that's over 25 games. It's not fair to have these cases kind of compare because they're all individually investigated. The judge that put 6 games here did not do Calvin Ridley, did not do Josh Gordon, but there's a certain problem that it looks bad that he only. I mean, actually, I don't know. What do you think? How many games do you think Deshaun Watson should have had? He never been convicted of a crime.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm okay with that. Do I think Deshaun Watson's a creepy kind of entitled man that wants massages and wants happy endings? Clearly, there's that.
Yeah.
But how many games should a guy get for being sexually creepy? And another thing we have to understand, because I looked a little bit into this, I think we have to stop and think about, okay, what's the surface level? Yeah, creepy. Like, dude, why are you getting massages? You're a millionaire 100 times over. You have a facility you can get a massage at. You should have your own personal massage, right? So he's obviously has something in mind that's not, his intentions aren't good. I want to say that first, right? Clearly, right? Your intentions aren't good. If you got that many different women massaging you, you should have one masseuse. Like, you don't need to have 26, right?
It's clearly a kink.
I mean,
it's a weird.
Clearly, it's a weird sexual kink. Yes, that's a great way of putting it, Hannibal. Thank you. Yeah. I wouldn't have came up with that, but that's a great way. But multiple of these women saw him multiple different times. So if he was that creepy the first time, why are you going back the second time? Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, so I think he did things that were like made them feel uncomfortable. Yeah, and shame on him for that. You should never do that. A professional woman massaging you shouldn't see your genitals unless that's part of the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should never get to that point. That's not cool. But I'm talking strictly law here, and what the NFL has. There's nothing in place for that. So, I mean, he didn't play at all last year, right? And I don't know if clearly it's related to that. Like, let's not kid ourselves. He wasn't hurt that I was aware of. So how many games should he get? I think 6 is low, but I don't know. I think it's such a unique thing. And I also think that there wasn't, I didn't hear, I could be wrong. You guys Hannibal's going to let me know, or in the chat. I don't feel like I heard that there was some kind of sexual, like rape allegations. Have you heard of that? I mean, to me, that's way different.
Yeah, it's definitely assault. Like
it's assault.
Whatever you want. Yeah, it's assault.
So,
I mean, if you're exposing yourself, or you just, it's a, you're
so
in an
it's
intimate
creepy.
setting.
Like, it's sexual assault, but like, there's a difference. I don't know. I'm not apologetic for Watson. I think he's an idiot. I just don't understand some of these people that have all this money and they think they can get away with anything. It's ridiculous. But like, it's the same with Calvin Ridley. How are you going to have somebody place a bet and it's under your name? It's just crazy.
Dumb. So yeah, Hector and I think Bobby kind of put in. So the NFL is going to appeal. NFL is going to appeal its own self, which is kind of interesting. This is bad PR. They're going to try to get more games out of him. I think a year was something they probably would want. I know some of the Browns fans. It's interesting too about football fans or just sports fans in general. You could have the most terrible human being, but if he's amazing and he's playing for your team, you could find a way to get over it. You're like, DeShaun Watson is our guy. Yeah, they did. He ain't doing anything wrong. Like, but if you're not a fan of, you're not a fan of, the Browns.
Yeah.
You'd be like, no, this guy should have been gone. A year.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I think a lot of people thought that the NFL probably had to appeal. 6 games was not enough. And the problem is they need to change the laws, because the way 6 game came up, because it's a non-violent sexual charge, or I guess it's in the bylaws, the way it's set up, the system, because this is how the judge looked at how the code of conduct is constructed and followed the guidelines and said, well, this is, if you're saying this would happen in 6 games, right? But that may need to change. The Browns may lose a year, and this guy's still gonna get paid because the guaranteed contract, unless the Browns kind of say, hey, listen, you violated this, and maybe try to recoup. I don't know how that will work, because once the year, like, what happens if you just boot him out, figure out a way to nullify the contract? He's gonna probably fight that, and then why if he gets released or whatever, and he could go to any other team, because someone's still going to sign DeShaun Watson. Apparently,
I think he signed with the Browns, and the Browns just traded away Baker Mayfield, the guy that got him to the playoffs last year or whatever. Yeah. So like, if DeShaun Watson, let's say he loses all year, he loses the entire year, or even half the year, because if he doesn't play half the games, they're still not making a play. Like, it's just not gonna happen, right?
Too, but 6 games keeps
still
them
a lot.
Still around, because I heard like the schedule is still kind of light for him.
But that's a third of the game. They play 17 games, so a third of the season he's out. So that's significant. A half, forget about it. If he misses a whole year, I don't even know who the other quarterback is, right? But like
Jacoby Brissett, which is he's decent.
He's serviceable. He's serviceable, definitely. But like, there's been other. Somebody mentioned Ben Roethlisberger. I remember when that happened. That was in the beginning, kind of towards the beginning of Ben's career. He like sexually assaulted.
That was like legit,
a legit thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember him being suspended for that. Actually, I don't think he was. He didn't miss any games. I am pretty sure. Maybe somebody of you guys could look it up. I also remember Julius Peppers, played for the Bears, played for the Panthers, a good defensive end.
Yeah, he
threw around his then girlfriend like a rag doll around a hotel room or in their house, like physically threw her around. There was guns involved. Like, I think he lost a year maybe, but like, Ray Rice, he never came back. He punched his wife or girlfriend in the elevator.
Video kicked him out.
The video made it worse. Now there's no video, I don't think, of the massage parlor, and if there might be, but maybe it's protected under something. Yeah. But like, I don't know. Like, if I went to a massage parlor and say, hey, will you rub me down here? Can you touch my groin a little more? Like, I've heard some of the tapes that women were saying, he was saying, do I go to jail for that? Or, I mean, not jail, but yeah, do I go to jail? Is it against the law? No, it's creepy. Like, really creepy. Like, that's not right. You shouldn't treat a woman like that, a professional masseuse, right? But like, I don't know what the NFL, I'm trying to look at it logistically. Like, what does the NFL have? What rules do they have? What's the sexual misconduct rules and guidelines? Because if it, like you said earlier, if it's 6 games, then it's just 6 games. If it's a whole year, it's a year. They should just stick by that, kind of regardless of if they're a good player or not, you know?
Nova Dash says it's probably a video. That's why he settled. I'm sure there's
At some point, there's
something
gotta
that would
be
make
one.
him look bad. And it's like, if I could just settle this with, probably a 5-figure, maybe 6-figure amount, it protects everyone from being embarrassed and blah, blah, blah. Hector says NFL owners are very pissed that he only got 6 games. Yeah, it just doesn't look good. Like if it was 10 or a year, everyone would be like, all right, at least I think, all right, let's move on. I mean, yeah, the Browns are done for the year. 6 games, and let me look at the schedule for the Browns. I mean, all right, so the 6 games they're going to be
got in the first 6 games. Give me the first 6.
We'll pass the preseason. They play obviously the Panthers.
Okay, that should be a win for them,
right? The Jets.
That's a win
I think
for
with
everybody.
Jacoby Brissett, they still beat the Jets. Jets suck. Steelers, Thursday night football. Falcons,
win.
Chargers,
loss.
Patriots,
loss.
That's
they can go 3-3 with or without him.
Yeah. So I think that's why they were mad. Like the schedule wasn't so like how he still get suspended and still be able to perhaps take the team to the playoffs because it's 17 games. I think they want to punish obviously Watson for his behavior and punish the Browns for messing with the basic, giving a guaranteed contract to a guy with. So now everyone like Lamar Jackson is like, yo, what's up? Where's my now everyone's looking for guaranteed contracts. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Browns effed up by being so desperate because again, he didn't want to go there. DeShaun Watson had no interest in going to the Browns until the Browns said, we'll give you all this money guaranteed.
Well, I think the Browns are looking at like DeShaun Watson's a really good quarterback. Like the year he had before last was really good. He had nothing that year at Texas. The Texans had nothing, and he was still performing. So you surround him. You could surround him with Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. They just signed Amari Cooper from the Cowboys. They got Jarvis Landry still. They got the good tight end. They got a stout defense. The Browns, I mean, Baker Mayfield's a good, serviceable quarterback, but he's trash. He ain't gonna win your Super Bowl. DeShaun Watson couldn't win your Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
they're looking at it like, okay,
he carried the team.
Yeah, they're like, forget this year. Maybe this year's a wash. But if Watson balls out with the guys we got around him, everybody will forgive what he did if they win the Super Bowl. And they're going Super Bowl or bust, in my opinion.
And he's one of the guys who had a really good well, not anymore, but of the charity he was doing, all the service he was doing. It was like one of those people where he looks like a cool guy, and then behind closed doors, he's doing weird positions while he's waiting for his massage. Like, it's just weird, man. John McCain with it, just insulting the Jets. Everyone should beat the Jets. All right, fair enough. So Zach Wilson is that guy off the field. Yeah, I've heard Zach Wilson.
He's not going to be a good. He's Johnny Manziel, but he went to BYU. So he's what Johnny Manziel would be if Johnny Manziel went to BYU. Yeah. Zach Wilson ain't gonna do nothing in the
NFL. The running game will carry the Browns with or without Watson. I mean, it's definitely without Watson. They're gonna need. Yeah, he's gonna take those carries. Nick Chubb. Let's see. Browns may have the worst. Wow, really?
No.
Yeah. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is a decent quarterback.
Yeah, no, he did good with the Colts before. Yeah, before Wentz got there, or when Jacoby Brissett can do some.
He don't make big mistakes.
He's a good backup.
Yeah, I don't see him. He's not a Daniel Jones or like I said, Zach Wilson going to throw 4 picks and he'd be like, "What are we do? What are you doing?" And like Daniel Jones. Like one moment, Daniel Jones would throw like a super sweet dime. Like, damn, that would look good. Like, and next minute, he falls on his face running. It's 0 to 100. Like, come on, like. Give me some in the middle. So we'll see what happens. I thank you for the update on. I didn't even know about NFL repeating decision. So thank you, Hector and Bobby, for throwing that tip out there. We'll see what happens.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys being in here. You guys are really getting some great comments and talking. And shout out to everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. And if you're interested in what we're doing, hit the like. We're moving up on the subscribes. More people are joining the movement, joining the podcast, really enjoying it, and we enjoy doing it. I always say it's a highlight of my week. This is a really interesting comment. Brissett is a great value Jameis Winston.
Great face of Walmart, Jameis. That's I don't know how to feel about that.
Who would
I
you
think
pick? All right, you have a team, and hey,
between those two guys,
between what you gonna pick, Jameis?
Oh yeah, I think Jameis Winston is going to lead the NFL in receiving. Not receiving, passing yards. Remember I said that. Jameis Winston is going to lead the league in pass yardage.
All he does is throw interceptions.
Doesn't matter. I didn't say he was going to have
throw interceptions.
Jameis Winston can throw 40 interceptions and also throw 40 touchdowns.
Yeah,
5,600 yards. So he got Michael Thomas back, Alvin Kamara out the backfield catching passes. He's got a couple deep threats. Jameis Winston will lead the league in passing yards this year.
That is a bold statement. I hope he does. He kind of came off as a knucklehead, and you could tell the last couple of years you don't hear anything from him. He doesn't complain, no nonsense. It was early in his career. I think he was feeling himself, and he's a little humbled out.
Yeah,
the guy, you said, with out of it, not necessarily constraints, but a certain guidance, he could play.
I think he went to a really good head coach, Sean Payton. He's not there now, but then he was a backup to Drew Brees, class act. I think he learned some things. He got humbly. He was traded away. The team that they got Tom Brady. His old team wins the Super Bowl. So I think he had to. I think he humbled himself. I think he's a dog, dude. I think he's going to throw for over 5,000 yards this year.
Yeah, he got the dog. And what kind of dog?
Yeah, I don't know. Poodle. I don't know.
And talk about quarterbacks, and I know we're running a little late, but I want to fit this in. Kyler Murray. I'm sure many of you guys got a lot of really good football analysis in the chat. They're kind of breaking things down. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the contract that was given to him. He got signed for a bunch of money. I like him. I like his game. One of the more exciting players to watch. I like him and Lamar Jackson. I like both of them. A couple of days ago, it was, these contracts are public after they sign them, that he was basically required to do outside homework for 4 hours uninterrupted. The NFL teams, they give everyone, especially the quarterbacks, a tablet, and the tablet has all this tracking and all this stuff. They know if you actually are using it or not. You can't just turn on and then walk away. And apparently, they put that in the contract. And it got a lot of responses for it, mostly criticizing Kyler Murray to the point of, and the problem is with Kyler Murray, he has talked about the fact that he doesn't necessarily do a bunch of studying because he can just analyze the game, right?
He's going off his natural skill and ability.
Yeah. And he has mentioned that out loud, which is not what you do. So also the team probably knows he doesn't study, right? And they put this in the contract. At first, I thought, this is to embarrass him. I thought, they're going to put this in here to embarrass you. And you signed it too. So obviously you knew that it was there. But to get him so other people in the community, fans and analysts, say, hey, listen, you can't do that. That's embarrassing. Study. You can do, you didn't look that great in that play. You looked pretty bad. You looked like you kind of lost in the last game.
He looked horrible.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst games he's had ever playing football. He said that. He was horrible.
Maybe if you study some more, maybe that would have not been so bad. Maybe teams are figuring you out. Maybe you need to put some more effort in. So, perfect comment by Nova Dasher. They basically called him lazy. So, the backlash kind of came, and then eventually the team took it back and said it became a distraction.
It makes no sense.
So it really shows that the team doesn't know what they're talking about.
It's the Arizona Cardinals. They've been known not to run a great organization.
Yeah, stand on it. Homeboy ain't studying. We know he's not studying. He got to study. Right?
I got no problem that they put that in the contract. I'm sorry, I don't. If I'm going to give somebody $200+ million, okay, I'm giving you the keys to my franchise, and you're publicly say, I could just do this. He plays a lot of Call of Duty. When certain video games come out, his statistics the next 2 weeks are down. There's analytics to support all of this stuff, Hannibal, right? There's analytics. There's so clearly he has other interests in life. Hey, fantastic. Do you, right? Yeah. But if I'm going to give you the keys to my franchise, it's not uncommon for big billion-dollar corporations to put a contingency. I'm going to give you this money. I need you to improve on this for me. Now, the fact that all that got out is kind of weird, but
I think
I
apparently
don't
that's
blame
a
them for
thing.
putting it in. I don't
Yeah,
blame
that's
them
the
for
thing
putting
that,
it in.
that once the contract is out, that people can look at it. And
Sure.
I know I was watching, I think Shannon, he was like, I asked my old agent, you ever seen this before? You ever seen this stipulation? He was like, no. Like he was asking around, like, what? And they knew it was going to come out, but
Yeah.
they probably didn't think it was going to be this big of a deal.
But he
I think
signed it. He signed it. So
signed
if
it.
he's got
Yeah.
a problem with it, don't sign. I mean, it's hard not to turn down whatever 200 million plus, but like have it reframed a different way or something. But at the end of the day, like, you know, you're not going to tell, you're not going to tell other quarterbacks you got to put, I've never heard of this, but clearly they put it in because there's an issue. They don't feel like he's, he's doing probably the bare minimum, right, of the requirements of the tablet or whatever, and that's not enough. If I'm going to give you the keys to my franchise, I need you to be the leader, and the leader is as a quarterback in most organizations is the first guy in, last guy out, putting in the time in the tape room. Like
a nerd. You got to be the nerd.
You could, he responded, like I saw the interview, him responding. If you guys think I don't, care or don't put practice in, listen, I'm 5'1". I never lost a game, and he never lost a game in Texas football high school. His 4 years he played, he was 45-0. That's in Texas. Football is everything. Yep. That's impressive. So clearly, and then he went to college. He won a Heisman.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he gets drafted number 1 pick.
They threw away their earlier 1 pick for him. I was like, exactly. Yeah, forget this other guy.
He's had a great NFL start to his career, but at this point, he's running on pure talent and athleticism, and he could have played baseball, but he chose football. But if he wants to take it to the next level, and if I'm the owner of a franchise and I want you to get me a Super Bowl, that's what all teams want, right? And I'm going to give you my money and say, hey, you're my guy for the next 10 years, but I need you to do this for me because I think if you do this, we could maybe win a playoff game next year because maybe you're more prepared to read a cover 2 and to do this and know when to actually run, know when to be patient and wait for your receivers to get open. So I don't have a problem with them putting that in. I think I just don't. I mean,
I agree. I think they should have kept it in. Like keep it like, yeah, that's the contract. He's has generational wealth right now.
Yeah.
Just study. Yeah, it's embarrassing. He should be embarrassed. Yeah, and Bobby said too late in the media in Arizona. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like throw him under the bus, but it's a major investment. Like if you think about it, if you're investing in your team and your most important player is playing Call of Duty, which is not even that great of a game, and you say your stats are getting lower because you're obviously playing too much games and you're not focusing on 300-pound men trying to crush you every Sunday. You may need to spend some time to study because it may prolong your career. So, well, the big reason why we actually brought this topic up because Warren Moon, Hall of Famer quarterback, implied some stereotypes, or at least implied that there's some racial stereotypes. So I want to just show this article real quick and share, ask what your thoughts on this topic here. So let me put it right here. Let's see how it looks over here. Okay. So Warren Moon implies racial stereotypes behind Kyler Murray's homework clause. Hall of Famer Warren Moon called the independent study clause recently removed from the Cardinal QB Kyler Murray's contract a slap in the face to African-American quarterbacks. And he says adding a clause, he believes, reinforces a stereotype about black quarterbacks. It's something that we are always accused of back in the day when they didn't let us play. Moon says that we were lazy, that we didn't study, that we couldn't be leaders, that we weren't smart. So all those different things just kind of came to surface after we put all that stuff to bed over the years. And just because of this deal that's going on between Arizona and Kyler. So yeah, very embarrassing. So I think that's the main topic or main point here. What do you think about that? Do you think it was a slap in the face? It was a step backwards? Is it, is it old stereotypes coming back because he told, the Cardinals are saying you have to study for 4 hours? Like, what do you think?
There's a lot there. I think if I'm looking at just this individual situation with Arizona and the things that Kyler has said, his performances coinciding with other things, how he just did the playoffs, how that ended when they were one of the better teams in all of football for the regular season, and then I'm going to give you all this money. I don't see it like that, how Warren Moon's painting it, but he does bring up good points, because I will say there is a history of commentary, NFL combine, scouting, things like that, right? And Warren Moon would know this because he went through it and he's seen it with other quarterbacks, that typically when you're looking at the quarterback position, there were coaches that have said, yeah, I want my quarterback to be white because, he's a great leader. He's this, he's smart, he's intelligent. And then, you would think of a black quarterback as athletic,
right,
and fast, right? So those words have been used by people, right? And there's been owners that have come out and said, and scouts that, I don't want this kind of athletic quarterback. I want a quarterback that's this. And so people always put their own spin on it. I think Warren Moon's a little off base here in this situation, because I think it's just Kyler Murray doesn't put in the effort as some of his other counterparts. And I think that's shown. So I'm going to give you $200 million. I want you to study a little bit more and be a little more dedicated to that, more dedicated to your craft. I don't think it has anything to do with race, though. I just don't. I think there's a history there, though. In the NFL, there is definitely a history of that. So we have to be aware of that. And I think he's speaking to that. And I think he's just using this current thing to talk about that. That's my opinion.
Yeah. The comment is not necessarily he's accusing, but he's saying I guess he feels it because he went through it and very intimately and a way that actually was legit. Like he
was the first African-American quarterback that was really good. Warren Moon. He's the first one that was really good. That
got the shot. Got
the
chance.
And was good. Yes.
But I don't see any racial undertones. I think it's important to look at people as individuals. Kyler Murray has publicly said that he doesn't study it, right? Like just the way he didn't say, no, I'm in there studying 10 hours a day. He literally said, yeah, I just see the game, man. I just sing it, fling it, and he has some really good players. I think he's feeling himself because so far it has worked. I could play Call of Duty and then beat everyone's ass on Sunday. I mean, if I was able to do that and I was his age, making that kind of money, you got to get humbled. And unfortunately, hopefully, that last playoff game humbled him. Like,
I think he could do it. He could do it and win. He could do it and win regular season games and win a conference title. But he can't do that. What he's doing now, or what he did, he can't do that and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and I think that's what they're trying to do with the contract.
Take it to the next level. Yes. They don't have an independent study clause for Russell Wilson. They don't have an independent study clause for Dak Prescott. There is no independent study clause for Patrick Mahomes. There's none for Lamar. So maybe it's just him.
Yeah.
Maybe the other guys put a lot of effort in studying to a point where they give them these crazy contracts, and there's not even a question. Do they care about football? Are they studying football? Are they keeping themselves in shape? I mean, Lamar Jackson apparently put 20 pounds of muscle on him, probably just try to see he could stay a little tougher and last a little longer.
Yeah.
These people care about football more than anything. So those kinds of weird stipulations are not in the contracts. And everyone at this point realizes that, there's some great black quarterbacks. They're great quarterbacks. Like you just bring in
at this point. Yeah.
So Warren Moon is, I think, tracing his experience and kind of he feels bad. He's like, damn, now people think that we all don't study. No. Just Kyler Murray is not studying. He's not. No one's thinking that. You don't think Russell Wilson studies? You don't think Lamar Jackson, he's running around almost getting killed. You don't think he's studying the defenses, watching video? I hope he is. You know what I mean?
I would hope so.
And for Kyler Murray not to be studying when when he's running around as much as he does, I mean, I'll say that's impressive to get to that point. But like you said, if you're trying to get to the Super Bowl, you have to put some studying in.
Russell Wilson's is Russell Wilson the corniest quarterback in the NFL?
Yes.
He's pretty corny. Yes,
well,
he's like very corny.
Rivers for like 15 years, and then he just took the man.
Yeah, but yes. Yeah, Russell.
Sierra kind of made him look cooler, though.
He's weird. Well, Sierra, I mean, she'll make anybody look cool.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So, I guess we'll see how well he does. I think this humbled him. It embarrassed him. I think he's going to study. I think he's going to put the effort in because how bad he looked, and this came out. The team knows. They know about their players. There's too much money invested in these men, especially a quarterback. I think he'll actually have a pretty good season. and he could show everyone up like I'm still the man. We talking about, which is great. I mean, of course, again, he's one of the more exciting players to watch. So I don't have,
he's gonna put up the stats. It's just football to me is very situational. The reason Tom Brady has been so great so consistently is he puts the effort, the time, and he understands situations. So when the fourth quarter, and you need 10 yards to get a first down, like Tom Brady knows exactly what that defense is going to do. Kyler Murray's not there yet. Aaron Rodgers knows. Russell Wilson knows. Patrick Mahomes knows how to. Murray's not there because he hasn't spent as many hours. He hasn't done his 10,000 hours in the lab. And I think that the Arizona Cardinals were fine for putting that in my opinion.
Yeah. Sierra misses Future though.
Oh Lord.
Corny or the most commercial? I mean, no, just corny. I mean, just corny. I don't know if Russell Wilson has a lot of commercials, but he's just a super nice guy. He's just super nice, and somebody maybe too nice, but there's nothing really. Just the edge, and he's a tough dude. Can't say he's not tough.
Oh, I mean,
God plays through everything. It's just a little, the smile, and then Sarah's trying to make him cool, braid his hair. But what do you think he's going to do with the Broncos?
Well, I think the Broncos could be they got a really good defense statistically last year. They have some really young wide receivers. They could be something. I'm surprised he left Seattle. He was a Seattle. I mean, he loves Seattle. So a little surprised about that. But I think Denver could be a sleeper team. Yeah, I can see them making some noise. Yeah,
it's crazy how it almost up to the point where this preseason, and I mean the football season going to come closer than I expected. So we're not necessarily going to be like a football centric channel. It's just some of these stories I just found more interesting of the beyond just the football.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see what happens with Deshaun Watson, and we'll see where it goes. But what a weirdo.
I think weird. It's so funny that we give so much money to these athletes and they deserve all of it. I think, listen, they can do things normal people can't do. And people love to watch it. And there's billions and billions of dollars. Get your money. Like Patrick Mahomes, 500 million, whatever he got. Lamar Jackson is going to get 300 million probably as long as he doesn't get hurt. Like, get your bag, right? I love it. I love it for these guys. I mean, I do. But like, when you get that money, don't screw it up for the other people around you that helped you get to that point. You know, like you owe it to me. Somebody gives me 200 million. I owe it to that city. I owe it to the city that I'm from. I owe it to my parents, my siblings, my coaches throughout the year. I owe it to my generational wealth afterwards, after me, to not get a creepy massage, to not play Call of Duty for 16 hours when I have a game that week. Like the shelf life on an NFL player is so short. It should be laser focused, in my opinion, for that 10 or 12 years. And then you retire and you're still a young man. You retire maybe in your mid 30s, maybe you're 40 when you stop playing. Most people don't even get that old. Yeah. Then you still have your whole rest of your life. So I just think it's really foolish that they're throwing away these opportunities when all this money's on the line. It's just very childish, in my opinion. But.
Yeah, I think for Deshaun Watson, I know he still says he done nothing wrong. I would say you may have an unhealthy way of intimacy. You may want to check that out. It seems like you like control, you like a bit of a manipulation. There's a scenario that you find really interesting, but it's not healthy, and you're potentially going to get yourself in trouble legally. So, figure that out. Like, what's going on underneath the surface? Why it has to be the massage parlor? Why you have to be doing these weird things? It's not for treatment, obviously. Figure that out before you put yourself in a really bad position. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on with all of that. But I know we went a little bit before. Hector has a question for me before we go. How was the road trip to St. Louis? Was it fun? Absolutely. I had a fantastic time in St. Louis. Talked to a bunch of amazing people. There was an amazing host there. I forgot his name, but he was super nice. And I hope that hopefully next year I'll be going to another road trip somewhere else.
Yep.
I'm not sure where yet. But it was super awesome. Yeah, man. And I just listen to a lot of music. I mean, a lot of music, a lot of podcasts, all that type of thing. So hopefully, if you're not here live, you're, driving around listening to us ramble about all types of different things. Next week, I'm sure it's going to be a full show, a bunch of other topics. I know we had some stuff that we want to talk about from last week. This week is a lot going on. And we may have some surprises on some updates to the show and what we're going to be doing in the future. So it's a very exciting time, for this podcast. What do you think, Pedro? How should we end this?
Listen, I'm going to end it by saying this. Hey, hit the thumbs up, but I'm going to end it I'm going to give this little sound bite. You guys heard that? Slap. Okay. So keep my wife's name out your mouth. All right. So what y'all think about Will Smith? Drop it in the comments section. You guys are fantastic. We appreciate y'all. Subs are, we get a few subs, a few subs every week. We're honored you guys come spend any amount of time with us. And my boy Hannibal leads this show. He does a fantastic job. So just round of applause for my dude. And next week and a week after, we're continually planning some topics for you guys, keeping it saucy, keeping it opinionated, and trying to talk about things that we think things that we're interested in, and I think some of y'all are interested in. So just be on the lookout. So
yeah, thank you guys for just hanging out with us. I know it's a little late, but yeah, drop the like, drop subscribe, and you know what? We'll see you guys next. And I don't know if this has been an official announcement. We're going to be going live from now on. I think that's where it doesn't matter in terms of me talking to you. Like, we obviously hanging out in St. Louis. We could talk amongst ourselves, and it could be a podcast. We talk amongst ourselves, by ourselves. But I think when it's the people, the cool people that we know, I mean, I met some of these people in person that's in this chat. It's a really fun environment when you're talking live. So that's what we're going to do from now on. All of our future shows will be live.
Yeah. And hey, listen, because we're going to do that, share this content. Let people know. If you got friends out there that like this kind of topic kind of stuff, let them know. We're going to continue to give you guys this stuff, and we love doing it. And like Hector just said, we want it to be very organic. We appreciate you saying that, because this is just two friends talking about things that we agree upon, disagree upon, hot topics about sports and music, hip hop, relationships. So just we got big plans for y'all. Don't worry.
Most definitely. All right. So on that note, have a fantastic night. Be safe out there, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you.
Peace.